Welcome, Board Game Soloists, to another episode of Top Solo Games. I'm Jay Allen Riker, horror author and solo board game fanatic, and today we're going to do a playthrough of Power Creep. This started delivering about a month and a half ago, I think, maybe less, maybe like a month ago. And the way that it works is every week you get a new combination of a character and a map. And there's some really interesting things going on. So this is a post-apocalyptic game. You're scavengers looking for resources, trying to turn on generators to get your and using then blueprints as you lock down the buildings, as you clear them of threats. You are able to turn them into different things using the blueprints that your character has access to, and the characters all have access to different sets of blueprints. Now, the orange one is unique, and these are shared. You will find them between different characters, such as Tank here has access to a recycler, and so does Zeke. But the vault is only Tank's, and Zeke's pub obviously is only available to Zeke. Before we get started, I wanted to show you one kind of cool thing. So I'm doing these for the sake of reducing the amount of glare that I expose you to on an actual color printout. This pains me to no end. What I typically do is I use these report sheets. Now, this is probably what you're thinking of, well, some of you, when it comes to these. So you're going to be putting these things here, but first of all, you see that these are numbers. And you're going to be writing in different areas, and you still have to be able to make these out. That's how these blueprints work, is you set up the building, and then to utilize their ability, you have to be able to circle certain numbers. So then things start getting circled up, things start getting crossed out, and this big fat wet dry erase marker, it ends up causing some frustration. What some of you might not know, I say that because I didn't know it for a long time, is that you can actually use a lot of regular types of marker or ink. I use these ultrafine retractable Sharpies, and you can see they've got a nib tip, not just a marker tip, and this still works. So you can see that you can write on it like a pen, but the difference is, while once it's dry, you can't wipe it away. So that means that your hand won't smudge it. You can use rubbing alcohol, or probably drinking alcohol. You could try this with vodka, and then it erases perfectly. So there's a tip. So I'm cheap in that I use these report sheets instead of laminating, and that instead of, well, I guess, I don't know, this aspect isn't cheap. But I certainly don't like to do color printouts and then throw them out. But because of the glare, I'm going to do that for you today, because I just value my viewers so much. I've never played Tank before. You're going to get to see me solve a new puzzle. So Tank is a sardonic prepper. His special blueprint is the vault. You may circle numbers in vault as if they were in other active structures. For each number you circle here, you must circle another number of equal value in the vault. I am wondering if this is equal or lesser, or if you actually have to have that exact one. I don't know how I'll play it. We'll see how it goes. The one that I am the blueprint, though, that I'm most excited about is the youth center, because you can circle a 1 or a 2, reduce a die by that amount. Low numbers are important in this game. High numbers are important in this game. So now the 3s and 4s are the ones that you don't want as much. 1s and 2s and 5s and 6s are both great. And I love that they actually changed the rules to make it so that low numbers do have a really good reason to be excited for rolling them. Another thing that happens is there's a creep track. So you have to go through all 4 of these, but if you don't make it before the creep track fills up, then you lose. And there are also a couple of negative events that happen on a creep track. Weapon span, piece through prevention, cross out the shotgun, and bomb if not crafted. They now cannot be crafted. So that if you hit here, here's some radiation. Exposed tanker is leaking. Roll a radiation check for each radiation level currently marked. So this is one reason why I think it's better to play this on color printouts, is that the colors actually do help let you know some things. I think they make, so this is the leader and he's in orange, as you can see. And also these radiation symbols are in orange. And one thing about Tank is that apparently he is really tough against radiation, because usually people start taking damage right off the bat. So if you put a number in a radiation spot, you have to roll to see if you take some damage. And every time you add radiation, it increases the likelihood that you will roll damage. Okay, so I'm just going to show you the rest as I go, using a different dice roller than usual. So that should be interesting. These squatters, so each one has different enemies. This one has squatters, whereas like this one has creep zealots. So it's like a cult that increases the creep track. It's really cool. There's some really creative stuff going on in the enemies. These angry squatters seem very troublesome. Now, they trigger at a relatively high number, and you'll see what I mean by that. So you have to roll pretty specific to hit them, except that in the dice phase, before the threat phase, you flip your lowest evil die to a highest, which turns it into a good weapon, makes it bad for traveling, and also increases the chances that these guys will activate. But you'll see what I'm talking about. There are a ton of dice on these. Usually you will have some that have just 2 or 3. Each one of these has a minimum 4. So these all have 4 dice that you're rolling, and that one has 5. So that means that there's some trouble that can kind of kick off right off the bat, but it also should increase the pace of these. It also makes it a little bit hard to decide, though, because typically you start with the lower dice locations because you're less likely to cause trouble. They often have fewer threats. We're going to start with the country store. It only has 1 enemy, so I think that we can get to him pretty quickly and take him out. Okay. Whisper quiet. That basket design is great. Okay, so we take the lowest and we switch it to its opposite side. So that's going to just be a 4. So that's great, except that we do trigger the cultist immediately. So that's what we check. The cultist triggers on a 6 plus on an evil die. And so we end up off the bat taking a point of damage. So we have no good traveling die. This is real bad. In fact, I may take back that damage because I might do a reroll. I don't use rerolls very often, but I got to get out of that corner. So I can re-roll this 6. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to re-roll, use this food to re-roll the 6 and hopefully get a low number. Man, I could blow some suckers away right now, but okay, so I have to be careful about where I put stuff. I need to try to keep a path clear with to use low numbers when I hopefully start rolling them. So right now we're going to go here, and these don't need to be, this is not the path I plan to travel. I guess if I was being really careful, I would, it's really more apparent when you circle something when you're using ink. So I circle this because I put 2 of the same number beside it. That's how you claim resources. So I've used both my 4s. Then I'm going to, should I wipe this guy out immediately so he can't do me any damage? I don't think so. I don't think we're nearly at that spot. Now this actually is, so what you want to, when you need to have a path unless you want to really blast your creep track up, and you will lose by the end of the game if you don't do this, is you need to have it in a continuous order, and you need to try to keep it low, because however high your highest number is in your continuous path to the generator is then how many ticks you add to the creep track. And remember, when the creep track fills up, you lose. So you want to keep it low. So that's why I was hoping for low numbers. So I'm going to try to go this route. Now, this doesn't have to be, but if you're playing super cautiously, you can, because then if something goes really wrong, you can have an alternate. If you don't make it consecutive, I can't remember the phrase that they used. It's a good one for letting you know that you can go in either direction. But if you don't make it that way, then you have to put 7. So, okay. Let's, so we did 1 damage by putting a 5 to him. He has a 4 defense, so 4 plus, 4, 5, or 6 would hurt him, but he has 2 hit points. Okay, so these both become 4s. So once again, we've got nothing good to travel with. That's really crazy. So we will put a 4 by this guy, and he is toast. And we will put another 4 here, and now we have access to that. And so the way that you're doing this is you're not in the location of where you put the last thing. Like, I could then put a number up here. I could put a number then over here. And there is now, again, there was on dungeon pages, good reason to try to fill up the board, because when you go back and use those numbers become resources that you use to activate the building's power. Now, in dungeon pages, it would give you whatever column you filled up, you would get to fill it in a dot, and you would get that much experience, and then that would give you more power, more access to more powers. In Dangerous Spaces, one of the things I didn't like is just getting through as quickly as possible was always a good thing. And so when you had extra die, you were throwing them down, but you weren't getting anything from it. And it's nice to feel like you are getting something and then trying to strategically fill the area without cornering yourself, which very well could happen. Now, because there are no more angry squatters, we don't have to flip to a higher die. To the higher side of the die, of our lowest evil die. So hopefully that means that we start getting some we can use. I'm going to use 3s, and those would both become 4s again. That's the same thing that it was in the last roll, which makes me wonder, how did I shake it up, drop it down that, and get get the exact same roll. But they returned to the 4 side, so there's no possible way. It's just random luck. Okay, now one thing that we do. Oh, you know what? Both of those times, it should have. So I rolled 2 doubles, and this is one thing I'm kind of bad at remembering to do some of these. I've been good so far about remembering to flip the die, but one thing is that when you roll doubles with the evil die, then you have to increase the creep track. And that's why it's kind of bad that this starts out with having 2 evil die in every location. It means creep is a very real possibility. This is just the general evil and chaos of the world increasing. Probably you can see it, like when you read these, you can see it as like a loss of empathy, increase in violence, disease, like any number of different things that could be going bad in this post-apocalyptic. You know what? I'm going to make this. It doesn't matter, actually. No, it does matter. So I'll make this no, it doesn't matter. Sorry. I'm not going to get this water if I'm not careful. It's okay. I can come back here and use a 3. I don't want to end on a 1 because that means that 2 is then the only number that I can continue with. You see, I don't know if you can tell, but this is a dark line, so it's an impasse. It's a wall. I can't just pass through that. So I have to come down and around. So I haven't gotten this water yet. I need to put another 1, 2, or 3 here. But I don't want to have a 1 right here or a 3 right here if I can help it, because I don't want to go higher than 3. So that would mean only 3 and 2 are possible. And I don't want a 1 because that means only 1 and 2 are possible. With 2, I can use a 1, 2, or a 3. I like having little things like that to think about. It's just why I'm happy that they did this creep track based on trying to have one path that has really low numbers. Okay, so we can. So I'm going to put a 1 here. Is there anything that I can get right now? So Sardonic Pepper comes with a barrel already. There's nothing I can get with just barrel and water, but I'm going to go ahead and take this. No, I'm going to wait because I might be able to get a 3. And I would prefer that. Okay, so I've used my 1 and my 2, and I need to use a 5 and a 6. These are tight quarters here. So I'm going to put a 5 here with the hope I'll be able to come back and put another 5 down here, and I'm going to put a 6 here. One thing that I like about this is I always felt like with the dungeon is kind of like you were I would think while you were proceeding carefully, you were still trying to go just in one way, trying to get to the end goal and get your way back out. With this, I do feel like you would want to weave back and forth and analyze every little bit. And this gives me more of a survival. The survival feel then therefore feels more represented by the mechanic, I think, of not having a distinct place where you are, but you're able to just kind of put numbers here and there. That's not a big thing. It's just, when you're playing a game like this, it's, that kind of just looks like Sudoku, right? It's good to have things in it that I think lend to immersion. Okay, so I'm going to put a 2 here, and I'm going to put a 4 and a 4 here so that I can claim this. And then I just have to place a 6. So I'll put a 6 here. Okay, so now I have a wrench and a barrel. Something with just a wrench and a barrel. All these right here require 3. That's not the case for every character. I don't know why his are higher. His requirements are higher, but if you look at Kendra has access to crafting items that only require 2. That's why I started checking automatically, because I've been playing this a little bit and I have certain expectations. My notes of this basket was really funny. Well, first, some of it snapped off because I dropped it, but it probably snapped because I dropped it, because when you see all that line, when I printed this, the PLA had absorbed too much moisture from the air, and I didn't know it. And so I printed a lot of stuff where I'm like, why is this happening? It's because as the PLA plastic absorbs water and then goes through the hot nozzle, it causes like little steam, which then makes it not adhere really well, and you end up with the spirally kind of texture instead of a smooth one. But I got that figured out, and now I set my PLA on my basement air dehumidifier for a few days before I use it if it's been sitting for a while. So we could finish this right now. We would not be able to pick up that health bonus, though, if we do that. So I'm not going to do that, because I really want that health bonus. I cannot get a 5 to save my life. There's a 3, so I'm going to should I take that water? Because I could make myself a radiation suit. Skip the radiation increase and check when marking a radiation space. That's nice, because this place is loaded with radiation. Yeah, so that's the only thing I can make right now with the 3 items that I have. So I think I am going to go for that. So I'm going to put a 3 here, And I'm just going to use it right away. Use that, use that, use that. Get myself a radiation suit early on, so that I can nip that in the bud, that little problem. Okay, so that was my 3. I'm going to put a 2 right here. Oh, I'm going to put okay, so instead of ending, I'm going to put a 1 here because I definitely want this health. So that gives me access to then 4 more hit points. That's huge, obviously. And then I'm going to just put a 6 here. Okay, so let's roll again, and let's hope that we get a 3 or lower in here, or else we are in trouble because we only have, I'm really pushing this to the edge, and we only have radiation-wise, although now I can put something high on a radiation spot and then sacrifice a die, so that's good. It doesn't matter. Well, I don't know if, I think that you can just go here and then call it. Like once you connect, like that's it. So that's what I'm going to do. Otherwise I could manipulate this so that like I put one of these on a radiation, but use this one to get rid of it. And then I'd only have to put the 2 here. We can say that I did that. It doesn't really matter. Well, yeah, we'll do that because then I have an extra 4 that I can use. Okay, so this is done, and like I said, I think the youth center is the one that sounds like the most useful. Circle a 1 or a 2, reduce a die by that amount after the threat phase. So that means that you can't use it to avoid monster attacks, but you can use it to make that path for yourself, which is sometimes the most stressful part. Okay, and he has a bomb making ability if I, get the goods to make it that I can use to increase dice. So that's a good balance against that. Circle a number with only uncircled numbers adjacent to it, then mark a 1 adjacent to a marked space. That is very useful because once again, you can get a 1 whenever your little heart desires it. Okay, well, I'm going to try to run through the rest of these faster. Sorry about this, guys. I like to explain everything, but sometimes I get a little out of control. We're going to do the mall shop next. It has just 2 regular guys. This one has a leader. I'd like to have more resources before I start going into leader zones. Okay. So this becomes a 5, and once again, so if this is the leader, you see the leader will trigger on a 5 or 6, but the angry squatter, they aren't particularly well equipped, so they don't. They have to have a 6 on the evil die. So we don't have a 6 on an evil die, so that's good. But the bad part is that I've got nothing. Once again, nothing to make a trail with. And that's especially rough because there's no way, if I put 4 dice out there right now, that blocks off. That means that I have introduced a high number into my trail just because this is in a corner. So like I would have to put fill all these. So I am going to already have to use my youth center to reduce something by 2. So I'm going to use it to turn this 4 into a 2. So I'm going to circle this, and then this is going to become a 2. So I'm going to put that right there, and then I'm going to get myself, and I have to make it all the way down here. So that's really kind of a nightmare because that means that these are the only 2 spots. So I have to use a radiation spot and then another one to take this guy out with a high number, unless I want to. Oh, I forgot to increase my creep. So the highest number in the path that I took is 3. So I increased my creep track by 3. And I rolled doubles on that. Creep track is increasing pretty quickly here. I have not ever rolled this many doubles on the evil die. Now that's going to be a big waste of high numbers if I don't get enough low numbers to get out of this corner. Well, I did. So it's continuous because it goes 2 to 1 to 1. And then, okay, so 6. So I take a damage. So I guess I'm just going to put, I need to put one here. So I just put a high one here, but I can't put a high one here to take him out because there's a wall right here. So I need to put one right here before I can put one right there. Sometimes you will get guns like this shotgun. If I had this, it would allow me to place one space away, but only in a direct line. So it still wouldn't allow me to put one here. It would allow me to put one here. There's a lot more flexibility with that in especially dangerous space. But even in dungeon pages, there are archers or like people who can throw daggers, or I know there's an archer. And you unlock weapons that allow you to do damage in different directions or jump different directions. So this doesn't give you that flexibility. But that's okay because I think that the power of the enemies have been fully, So I'm going to put 6 here and use a 4 to avoid taking irradiation. Because if I use a 4+, good die. Okay. Should talk less about my thought process. I thought I said I was going to do that, but... Okay, so we'll put a 2 here. Did not trigger enemy attacks, so that's really good. So the 2 is used. I will probably use the 3 then to continue the path, because getting 3 is not bad. Limiting myself to 1 or 2, I could really paint myself into a corner pretty badly. I'm going to put a 4 down to finish this guy off. So from the 2, I can put a 4. Not continuous, but just because I have a space over there. And then is there a good place to put the other one? There's not a good place to put the other one because, I mean, I can put it here and it's fine. It means if I get another 5 or 6, if I get a 5 or 6, I can get this feat, which will allow me to reroll. I couldn't put it in any of those places because I can't put it there, definitely. Okay, so the path continues. Now the question is, do we want to go through radiation, or do we... Oh, another creep. Jeez, I might actually lose by creep. That hasn't happened to me yet. That does mean I need to be strict on my path, because I have gotten... What's that, the 4th creep point now? That's terrible. Okay, I think that I just put that there. Yeah, I'm sure I did. Okay, so 2 there. Oh, wait, I forget that I need to flip one of these to 5. And that is in the dice phase. Does the dice phase come before the creep check? Because if so... Yeah, I think the creep check is... Yeah, the creep check's during the threat phase. Jeez, oh, Pete's. Sorry, guys. These little rule adjustments keep things really fresh, and I think they're great, but that ends up being what I make mistakes about. Okay, so I've got 2 and a 5 then. So one of these 5s to come over here so I can get this reroll. That's what the food gives you, is the ability to reroll one die, if you recall. And then we've got a 4 and a 5. So do we want to just charge through the radiation? I mean, I can't use it. I can't use it anyway, so I don't know why I'm asking that. Okay. Uh, we want to get this health for sure. So I'm gonna use those. Okay, so we can continue. Oh, well, I just cornered myself into. She's okay, 6. I take a damage from it from activating. Um, Now I've got to go through here because I put the 4 there, and I don't feel like trying to back up far enough. So I need to use my 1. I need to use this good one to counteract the radiation, or I need to just take it. I forgot this guy's gone. Yeah, that means I should have taken 2 damage last time. Because there were 2 guys. No, because that guy was dead. I just forgot to mark him. Okay. So what it gets me a little confused is that each person there activates when you roll a die that would, but they don't activate for each time you roll. For each time you get the die value that would activate them, they will only activate once. For some reason, I have a little bit of a hard time remembering that, and sometimes I'll only activate them as if they do 1 damage or whatever the damage is every time, like no matter how many of them there are. Okay, so I used a 1. I'm just going to take the radiation so that I can get everything that my heart desires. Doesn't really make any sense, actually. I'm not going to take the radiation. There's no reason for that. So I'll sacrifice this good 6. Use the 4 to get extra health, which I should be really pretty good on now. And I'm going to put a 6 over here. So I could have, if I'd kept that 6, I could have just taken this. And I could have, but I'll get it. I'll get it. And then when I come over here, which is probably where I'll go next, I'll be able to get that barrel, and then I can make myself a bomb. Okay, the lowest goes to its opposite side. Haha, the creep track doesn't increase because that happens before threats are checked. Love it. The implications of that didn't hit me when they're both high numbers because it just hadn't happened yet. Okay, so we will put a 2 here to continue our path, and we will take this sucker out. Pardon my language. So 4 or higher. So he's out of here, so we don't have to worry about him anymore. And I still have a 2 left, but I don't want to. Actually, I could put it here and just end it. No, I need that other wrench. I was thinking I needed the gear. Okay, so I will put it here then to get this gear. Okay, so now we have to worry about the creep track, but we don't have to worry about the squatters. Wow. Okay, so 6 gets us this. A 4. Oh, there's another health over here. Shoot, I should maybe go for that, even though I could end it with that 1. All right. So I'm going to get myself this reroll. Now, so I have enough to make the, no, I still need to get a barrel to make the bomb. Okay, so we will go for a 1 and a 6. No, we will go, well, wow, that's a really nice roll. Should I go for the water? No, because the only thing I needed it for was the radiation suit. So I think I'm calling this a barrel, but I think it's fuel. So maybe I'll try to call it that. Okay, so I got 6. So get the health. Doing good on that front for sure. Now, if I went straight through that radiation, I could give myself the water, but like I said, I don't need it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put the other 2s down just in case they might be useful with some other roll, and then put the 2 here. Okay. So what building do we want to do? Got greenhouse, circle a number with only uncircled numbers adjacent to it, then mark a 1 adjacent to a marked space. So that's nice for the path. Recycler, circle 2 odd numbers to reroll a die on radiation check. I don't think we need that as much with the radiation suit. Youth center we've already got. The vault we can use it as if it were any of the other active structures. I think that sounds like the winner. Okay. We're going to go to the abandoned house now. Now we have a leader. So now we have to worry about 5, triggering on a 5 or a 6. And this fella has 4 hit points and a 5 defense, only 5 and 6 damage, and he's a toughie. Okay, so triggering on a 5. Oh wait, so the lowest has to go up, so that's only a 4. Lowest evil die. So I take 1 damage. Still doing very good on health. Oh, and I forgot that. So I made it through here with 1, 3. I wish I had held out because the creep track is. So the next one, if I have to get that barrel before anything creeps again, and I have no control over that because it's just about whether I roll it or not. Or else I'm not going to be able to make that bomb. Okay, so now I take 2 damage because that 6 will trigger both of them. Wait a minute. That's really embarrassing. I didn't use any of the numbers that I rolled. Wait, did I? No. Okay, so that creep track. Yes, okay, we're good. That creep track, I don't know, I mean, on review, it may turn out I made a mistake, but I was adding those from a creep track, not from a roll. So that got me confused there for a second. Okay, so we've got a couple numbers that'll help us make a path out of here, but the problem is that once again, completely cornered in. A lot of times you can go one way and then another way. So you have a way to take your high value and you have a way to take your low. So I got to get the heck out of here. So I think that I am maybe going to use that 5 and turn it into a 3. Okay, so here we have the youth center. So I'm gonna circle this 2 and turn it into a 3. I'm just worried about getting completely hemmed in there. And then we'll just have to put the 6 over here. Okay. Oh, what? Was either 5 or 6, but you know what? There's no fair way to tell. Okay, so we flip over the lowest and turn it into a 3. Great. So we don't get attacked this time. And we've got 2 that we can continue our path out of here with, which is very important. Because this is also very constricted. You see, there's no way to get through here and go out. There's only one route. Man. So I'm going to actually put one here just to make sure that reduce the chances of filling all this up before getting something that can get us through that doorway. So I got the water. I didn't need the water, but I did get the water. I think this diner actually would have been easier just because, well, it does have 3 bad guys instead of 2, but at least one of them's easily accessible. So maybe it would have been just on par. Okay, so these we're just going to put in off out of the way places so they don't increase our creep track. Okay, so I flipped the lowest. It's too bad. To a 5. So we've got a 3 here. We do not have 3 spaces, which means that unless we turn one of these lower, we are in trouble. So I am going to go ahead and turn this 4 into a 2 and use this 5 to pay for it. And so I'm going to try out using the vault, and my circle number in the vault as if it was an interactive structure, but you must circle another number of equal value in the vault. So I'm going to consider that to be not equal or greater, but actually equal. So we're going to reduce that I mean, I guess we might as, if we get the most flexibility by turning it into a 2, but maybe I should just turn it into a 3. Okay, so that gets rid of those, and that means I only have a 5 that I need to do something with, and I can go in this direction with it. So I can use my other 5 to get that barrel, please. Let's do that before the weapons ban. Okay, so this turns into that. I take 3 damage, actually, because, no, that guy only does 1 damage. He just does it on twice as many values. Meaning he does it on a 5 and a 6 instead of just on a 6. Okay, so let's go ahead. This is good. So we have a couple 3s that we can get out of here with, out of these tight confines. Jeez, enough to drive you crazy. Get some more of that HP, which is good because I'm getting hit. And then a 6 and a 6. Okay, so I'm gonna use that on this. So we're gonna make our bomb before we get another creep point and get the weapons ban. So a bomb takes fuel and 2 wrenches. So we're just going to go ahead and cross out the fuel and 2 wrenches. And there we go. That's going to really help us attack. Okay. I got some good movement die there. So we can go 3, 2, 1. We've got a 6. If we had a shotgun, we could blast him, but we didn't make a shotgun. We made a bomb. I'm questioning all my life choices. Could have made a shotgun. I do have enough. Do I have enough? I might not, actually. No, I don't. I only have 1 gear. Okay. Anyway, doesn't really matter because we don't have it. So we're just going to work our way down toward this house. Okay. That's great. Well, it's not super great because I have a 1, 3 is not actually a continuation of it. And also, I did myself... I got 2 damage. They both activate. Okay, so... we use that to get there, and now this is going to be the path I'm going to continue on, so this can just be things to damage with. Leader has a defense of 5, so I can use this to make this a 6. It's not at the threat phase. I can add 2 to this. It's not at the threat phase, so this doubles, doesn't matter. So now it is 6, 6, and this guy is, the leader is toast. He has 1 vulnerable follower over there. Okay, nice. This is, wow, that's perfect for making a path. So I could actually close in all the way here. I wouldn't get that reroll, but you know what? I've been building up rerolls because I've got enough dice manipulation that it doesn't, I haven't been using these at all. If you remember, I did a reroll at the beginning, but I have 1, 2, 3, 4 rerolls that I haven't even considered, really. So we're going to just go ahead and go 1, 2, 3, 2, and we're done. Could have kept going, but first of all, this video is getting kind of long because I'm explaining too much, and second, I don't know that there's anything I really need to build that much. You know what? Sledgehammer would have been really nice early on so that I could, because you can ignore a wall when moving. That's something that I'm going to pay attention to. I've never noticed this equipment before. I'm not sure that I've ever encountered it. Okay, so we have to decide first. Okay, we have 3 more creek points, so now we cannot make a bomb. Or, I mean, we can't make the shotgun. We already have the bomb, so too late. The next one is roll radiation check for each radiation level currently marked. And I don't have any marked because I went back and decided to give up that die to use my rad suit instead. Okay, so what are we going to turn this into? We can't turn it, if we want to turn it into like a youth center or a vault, we would have to erase it off of that. You can only have 1. So if we had used 1 up badly, but we haven't, the youth center still has a ton of 2s, which are the most valuable, and actually this has probably fewer, if you look at both 1s and 2s. So I don't need to check the radiation. So we'll turn into a greenhouse to be able to create ones at will. Circle a number with only uncircled numbers adjacent to it. Okay, so that's very useful. That would have been useful earlier on, even. Okay, so let's then move on to the diner. So we add an extra. Yeah, pay attention to these. I've gotten kind of complacent because these are all the same. Usually they change. It changes every time. So we have one more evil die, which means more evil can be done to us, but it also means that we do have more to work with because the evil die becomes a tool for us after the threat phase, right? But it does cause us to mark up the creep track. This is a good time to mark it though because I don't have any radiation, so the hotspot does not do anything. Now we still need to, I believe, make it through here with low numbers because I still think that you have to add to the creep track at the end before, and if it fills up, you've lost. So we have like 9 more spaces. Yeah, if we hit that 10th, it's over. Okay, so let's see what we're gonna do. So that means we do have to try to keep it low and slow. What path should we try to go on? This one obviously is catching my eye because it's so direct. This one is real winding and probably where we want to take our high numbers because it's got a lot of baddies. So we're gonna go down this way. If we go from here, we can get but we can't make a shotgun anyway. Okay, so then that'd be the only reason we need the fuel. It's the only thing that we haven't made that has that, and we can't make a shotgun because there's been a weapons ban. So we'll just come. You know what? That doesn't make any sense though, because I do need to dump high numbers straight off the bat. So 1-1. I'm going to use this. Wait. Give me circle numbers in the vault. Okay, so circle a 1 or a 2. So I'm going to circle a 1 in the youth store, or the youth center, to reduce this to a 2 so that I can use it in a continuous fashion. Okay. And that means that 4 and 5 are going to just go off this way. Okay, so that's 2 points of damage. Like, 3. There are 3 guys here. Eight. Yeah. Okay. No double, so no increase of the creep track. Let's see what we can do here. So we got a 1 to put here. We want probably, I guess, to turn this into a 2. So youth center. That's so powerful. This is one of the most powerful. And then the vault makes it so that you can just, use it a little bit extra. So the 4 becomes a 2. I subtract, I circled the 2 to subtract it. Actually, I could also use my greenhouse to get a 1. Okay. So we'll go 1, 2. That's that's crazy. Because that, I mean, that's really powerful too. This tank has some amazing blueprints because this doesn't require you to just, you're not manipulating a die. You just get to make a 1. Circle number with any uncircled numbers adjacent to it. Then mark a 1 adjacent to a marked space. Wow. That's so powerful. Like combined with the youth center and the vault, like you can really tear through these. Okay, so that means that I can really put a hurting on this guy. I'm gonna have to take some rad to do it, but that's okay. That is a-okay by me. I could use those 6s to get health, but I'd rather prevent the damage and get the satisfaction of wiping this guy out. So my radiation level, actually, okay, so I'll make that a 6 and a 5 so that I can use the 6 to sacrifice it to not increase my rad level. Wow, this is going better than I thought. When I saw the way that you had the squatters flips the die, I thought that was going to be bad, but wow, it's real trailblazing going on here. I should just call it. I don't have to take these guys out, and I don't need any more. 2, 3, 4, 5. And I've got 5, and I can do it sequentially. Okay, yeah, I'm going to call it. Oh, except I do have to turn this up, so that means it's a 4, but that's okay. I can absorb that. And they're doubles, so wait. I turn that up, and that becomes a 4. And those are doubles. Okay, we're good. That didn't do anything weird. So that means that I have to put 4 here. So stuff got creepy. But in the end, we made it to the final generator, and we win. I always wipe everybody out just because I find it fun. So I don't know if I've played this game so many times. I mean, not so many times, but between all, like if you're talking about dungeon pages, Danger Space, and Power Creep, I played this game a lot of times. And I don't know if I've ever done it without wiping everybody out. I'm not sure. So you win the game if you complete all structures and defeat all leaders. No, so I still have to defeat the leader. So the game is still going with 1 or more health remaining, and the creep track does not cause you to lose. So I'm going to subtract these 4 for later. So I'm not going to put that 4 here. I'm going to put that 4 here because that does a point of damage on him. Okay, let's keep it going. So you don't have to take everybody out, but you do have to take out the leader. Did I bump? Oh wait. Sorry if anybody's getting motion sick. I thought I bumped it because I moved. Anyway. Okay. So we got some good rolls to take out the trash. So I take 2 points of damage. The one guy's down, so I take 2 points of damage, and we're still doing fine on that. And if we weren't, I could complete this over here with a 1, 2, or a 5. I could get myself another couple hit points. I don't think that I need to do that. Oh, you know what? I did this wrong last time. I just realized this leader has twice the hit points. I shouldn't have taken him out with only 2 6s. I should have. So that's bad on my part. I'm not gonna. There's no way to to go back at this point. So we can use a 4 to take out this guy, and we get ourselves a gear. Um, Man, we almost had enough to take out the leader on this. Put a 3 here because we can hit him with a 5, 5, 6. So he has 1 hit point left. So we got to get we got to get another 5 or 6. And okay, so this is the lowest. It becomes a 5, which means we get a creep track point. But it's also going to be his demise. He's given us all the ammo that we need to take him out. And actually, we could, because of the bomb, we could have used a good die to crank up anything. So even if we'd rolled all nothing higher, if we'd had anything 3 or higher, we could have done it. It doesn't matter. Okay, here we go. Bye-bye. And just to feel better about our previous mistake, we'll put these 2 5s up there. we went to the window and shot across. Because that's what this is. That's one thing I really like. In dungeon pages, they're just 4 unrelated dungeons. I think that the way that I would imagine it is, instead of going to a treasure box every time, because that's what, instead of a generator, you went to a treasure box, I would have it be doors, and then the final one was a treasure box. But you couldn't put that on there because you were supposed to be able to do them in any order. So you couldn't have one that was the ultimate, even if it clearly seems to be the one that you should do that at the end. The player still gets to choose. In dungeon pages, it was all rooms and a ship, and that was cool, but the continuity. There was something that felt very different about dangerous spaces compared to dungeon pages, and there were some that was a little better and some that I didn't like quite as much. This, for me, is like the perfect version of this game so far. Maybe they'll outdo it, or they just released a game today of the game of this, like a tower defense game, print and play game that comes out every week. I just bought it. You can either go to the Kickstarter and you can get it. I think there's still 1 day on it, or you can go to P&P Arcade and they've got it for the $10, same $10 it costs, which is half price that you get it for if you get it on the Kickstarter instead of later on. It'll be $20 later on if you go for every week. Anyway, maybe they'll be going with this system because that'll be the new system they progress with, because for me, this seems pretty definitive, but who knows? Who knows? There are obviously some very, very talented, creative game designers over there. Anyway, yeah. So one thing I like is that these are like streets and alleys. So you've got cars and you've got trees and bushes. There's a little green space over here. So that's what connects these, so they don't feel like they're just floating out there and nothing is what the entire ramp ended up starting from. So I hope you enjoyed this playthrough. I certainly enjoyed playing it and describing things to you. If you want this, you should check out, I'm going to put the link to the new campaign. I don't know if there's a dungeon. I don't know if there's a power creep. There might be. So, like a lot of times in their campaigns, they will give you the free year for the same discounted half price. So I can't say for sure as I'm shooting this, but check. Also, I don't know if I'm going to post before the Kickstarter's over. Anyway, if you like this, though, it's for on PNP Arcade. I'm going to post a review, which I'll talk about kind of the campaign stuff. It's I don't really care that much about the campaign. If you really like campaigns, though, it might be enough to tell you toward it. For me, it adds a little bit more. It adds more stuff to remember without, for me, increasing like the real variety. but it might be just the thing that you need. And I like that it's an option. It makes this even stronger as a contender for the best game in this series. Anyway, I hope that you enjoy this playthrough and have a great rest of your day and keep playing solo.